Hey, what's up everyone? Josh here. Let's talk about how to again. We're gonna talk about upper body, specifically shrugs. Now, if you haven't noticed already, I'm wearing my shirt. Everyone wanted to see what it looked like on. This is a large, which is good because that's probably the size I wear. I could have had a medium. The sleeves would have been a little bit tighter on my arms, but it would have looked a little small. So this is a large. I'm 5'8", 5'8 and a half, and 195 pounds. So if somewhere around that's you, this is what you look like. It's nice, it's not too tight, it doesn't lift up and become like a belly shirt when you reach for something on the high shelf. It's got a good sleeve tightness and it looks good. I like it a lot. Hopefully you guys will take a look at this. I've seen a bunch of people take a look at that Big Cartel website. I'll put a link in the description below here. Make sure you enter that contest. I want to give a free one of these away. Enough about that for now. Let's talk about shrugs. I got a video queued up from my last session here. And let's talk about the correct form of shrugs. You can see in this video that I have 4 plates on there. That's really heavy. By all means, you don't have to go that heavy. I was just going for a PR on reps. Did not even think I'd be able to get this. I got 7, which was unreal. So the proper form, as you can see in the video, is placing your hands on the center part of the knurl. Knurling is the checkered or gripped pattern on the bar. And I put a little slow motion in there as well. You want to grab the bar with the over handstands. Now you've seen an over-under when you do deadlifts. You don't want to do that because it puts your shoulders in 2 different positions where you have one coming up and back and one coming up and forward. You don't want that. On deadlifts, they're fine. You don't want to do that on shrugs. So you're going to go an over. What's good about that is that you can see in here, it gives you an even up and an even down. The biggest thing I could say with shrugs is not to go around. Now you can see, if I turn sideways, people go like that, they go around. That started a few years ago and it's horrible. You don't want to do that. It puts a rotation aspect into your shoulder when you're doing shrugs here, not good. The potential to hurt yourself is seriously there. Don't do that. You want your range of motion to be straight up, straight down. Just imagine your shoulders trying to touch your ears and down with the least amount of bicep involvement you can. Because you'll see people, they'll tense up their arms, they'll kind of start to curl it a little bit, and they'll pick the weight up with their arms. You don't want to do that. You're going to rob the motion from your shoulder, and you're going to rob it from your traps. So you don't want to do that. You'll be able to get a little bit more weight, but you're going to bring in some biceps, and that's not what's part of the game. There's different bicep exercises you could do. You don't want to include that for this one. And the different variations I do is a standard, which is going to be a thumb's distance from the knurl, which you'll see in a lot of these videos. And the one where I'm actually back at TigerFitness, it's an older video, but I like the angle. It shows my close grip, which is approximately like a thumb's distance away. What that does is it focuses a really tight squeeze, like the tightest squeeze you can get in your traps. I even like zoom in for a second there, and you can see that really tight squeeze lets you get a good pump in the very high aspect of your trap, which is what you really want. It's a really simple exercise. You can't really go too wrong with it. The thing you'll probably notice is when I do those heavy weights, I put the bar a little bit lower than normal because I could unrack it from the bar and just grab it. But what that does is if you're unracking from a high position and you're coming up and you go to grab it, if you grab it weird where your right hand or your left hand's a little bit more dominant, when you start that exercise, you're already going to be off center, off balance, and potentially using more of one side than the other. That's where you get hurt. Now if you see on the video, I take the bar across like probably the high aspect of my thigh, and I use my legs to kind of help that bar get up a little bit, and then I start at that high aspect, both shoulders evenly distributing the weight evenly on that flat playing field, and then you start going up and down. That way you don't have to worry about picking it up because your strong side's going to carry a lot of the weight. So if you pick it up heavy right and you go to shrug, your left's still going to be off balance. So I really like that, where you use your legs to kind of get it up a little bit, start even, take a deep breath in, get a good square platform, and then start the shrugs. You're not going to get them gigantic off the gate. You're not going to build them super fast. Traps are like calves. They take a lot of work, but once you start to build a lot of strength, you'll notice that not only does like a shoulder exercise get better, biceps get more stable, triceps get more stable. It affects a lot of those upper body exercises by being able to support that weight and build a good foundation. It's like having really strong legs and a really strong core. It affects your bench, it affects your military press, it affects everything. So imagine having a lot sturdier, stable upper back. That's what that's gonna happen if you build quality traps. So a rep range I do is 5 sets of 5. It's good. I do heavy weight. For the first like 3 reps, or for the first 3 sets, I do 5 sets of 5, really heavy. But for those last 2, I drop the weight a little bit, not very much, maybe like 20%, and then I go for like a set of 12 or a set of 10, just to really get that blood pumping and that good pump throughout that trapezius. But you can really see the muscles that are activated. I mean, you can see that it activates your shoulder, your back, your upper part, and those traps. You really want that. You want it to be a really smooth, really fluid exercise, because that's what you want. The worst thing you could see, and it's in a lot of memes, is people just going, really weird, really just odd motions, either too fast or shrugs, or just really flailing about. You want, like any exercise in the gym, to just be crisp. You want it to be super smooth. Pick that weight up on a breath, breathe in, and then get it. And exhaling on this one's really important. So you go in, out. That way you get a good full flexion and extension and a good rise out of those traps, because that's going to build that really dense, volumized muscle that you really want to see. That way you're not doing 3 sets of 12 on these and you're just not getting any bigger traps. Another consideration is head placement, and I think a lot, like most exercises, looking up is going to be your best bet. Not looking straight up like if you're doing squats, how a lot of people say you should do it, but you definitely don't want to be looking down. One, that puts a lot of tension on the back of your neck, so when you're shrugging and you're going like that, you get like the puffy cheeks because all that blood's rushing to you. Maybe on the last rep you'll see me like look down and then look back up and then get it. That's fine. You just don't want to have your head down and doing shrugs. Like it doesn't feel right with any weight. So adding 3 plates on each side, doing that, I can only imagine that hurts your neck really bad. You don't want to do that. Make sure you do it the correct way. When in doubt, look at yourself. That's the best way. You're going to have that neutral head position. You're going to be watching yourself. You'll be able to see the rise and fall of your shoulders. You'll be able to see if maybe you're leaning a little bit one way or leaning the other, making sure that you're not like holding your breath. You can see your biceps. If you have a really huge pump and those veins are going nuts in your biceps, that's probably because you're lifting a little bit with those biceps. And you don't want to do that. You want to make them strictly a shrug, a trapezius exercise. So just kind of watch that. That's the best part about the mirrors, is that you'll be able to see that right away and correct for it. Or like I suggest in a lot of different videos, record yourself. You'll be able to see a lot of your weak points. So a few things to consider: head placement, that neutral good forward, using a barbell versus single dumbbells. That way you get that even weight distribution and that perfect form, straight up and straight down. Utilizing your legs a little bit, so rack that weight lower, grab it up, take a breath, start neutral, and then raise up. That's also a really, really good one. Other than that, picking the right rep range, picking the right weight. If you can't get it all the way up and all the way down, and you're doing little baby shrugs, you're not getting the best out of it. You gotta set your ego aside on some of these, do a little bit less weight, build up to those heavy weights, and definitely start to crush those big weights once you've built that appropriate foundation. Because if you hurt yourself doing a weight that's just completely unproportional to your strength, you're just going to be out of the gym longer. I've said it in multiple videos. That's going to cost you time in the gym. It's going to cost you gains. You're going to have a bad attitude towards the gym, and it's going to affect your overall fitness goals. All that aside, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you're hitting upper body today, aka chest day, Monday, you know how it goes, make sure to watch this video, add in some of those tips and tricks, get a little bit more weight into your shrugs, get a little bit more that extra effort and pump using the correct form and avoiding those bad tendencies that I highlighted in the video. If you do, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Twitter. I want to see your guys' progression. All that aside though, hopefully your guys' day is going well. Smash that gym exercise, smash the like button for the continuation of these how-to series, upper body day. But the most important thing of the entire video, take it easy.